Everyone wants to know the big secret of wealth. Is it $1 million idea, a lucky break, or some hidden investment strategy that only the elite know about? The truth is far less dramatic, but far more powerful. Wealth doesn't usually come from a single lightning bolt decision. It comes from a series of tiny, almost invisible choices, habits that seem insignificant in the moment, but when repeated over years, they quietly stack into fortunes. Think about it this way. The wealthiest people you've heard of, Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, didn't just wake up rich one day. They built wealth through consistent, disciplined habits. Many of these habits aren't glamorous. You won't see them flaunted on Instagram. In fact, most of the time they look boring. But boring habits, when practiced consistently, compound into extraordinary results. Here's the reality. Small, smart habits are like financial seeds. At first they look tiny. You can barely notice them. But when you water them with consistency, they grow into something massive. This is the quiet, hidden engine behind wealth creation. The stuff nobody brags about, but everyone who's truly wealthy relies on. So today I'm going to share 9 tiny habits that quietly grow wealth. These aren't get-rich-quick tricks. They're practices followed by people like Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, and even Joel Osteen. These are individuals who understand that wealth is built slowly, then suddenly. But before we dive into these habits, I want to challenge you. Take a second and think. What's one small habit you've always wanted to start, but haven't yet? Maybe it's saving a set amount every week, reading one financial book a month, or cutting out a daily $5 expense that adds up over time. Whatever it is, write it down in the comments. Because here's the truth. The first step to owning a habit is naming it. So let's begin. Because wealth doesn't start with luck. It starts with you, and the habits you choose to practice every single day. Habit number 1, practice daily gratitude. One of the most overlooked wealth habits has nothing to do with money itself. It's gratitude. Gratitude changes the lens through which you see the world. Instead of focusing on what you lack, you start noticing what you already have and what's possible with it. Joel Osteen, one of the most influential evangelical preachers in America, has built tremendous wealth and influence around the principle of gratitude. Whether you agree with his message or not, his emphasis on thankfulness has given millions of people a sense of abundance, and abundance attracts opportunity. For you, this doesn't require a stage or a microphone. Just grab a pen and paper. Write down one thing you're grateful for every night. It could be small, like a good meal, or the fact that you paid your bills this month without stress. Why does this matter? Because gratitude builds patience, and patience prevents desperate financial decisions, the kind that destroy wealth. Gratitude makes you long-term focused. So here's your step. Tonight, write down one line. Do it again tomorrow, and again the next day. Over time, this invisible habit shifts your money mindset from scarcity to opportunity. Habit number 2, automate your savings. Warren Buffett once said, "Do not save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving." This is the essence of automation. By automating your savings, you remove the biggest threat to building wealth, your own forgetfulness and impulses. Buffett built one of the largest fortunes in history, not by chasing trends, but by being disciplined with money. The average person can mirror that discipline with a simple setup: automatic transfers into a savings or investment account. Start small. Even $50 per paycheck, automatically moved before you touch it, compounds massively over years. It's not about the amount, it's about the consistency. If your money doesn't pass through your hands, it doesn't get spent on coffee, gadgets, or late-night Amazon purchases. It quietly goes to work for you. Tiny setup, massive payoff. That's the power of this habit. The third habit is creating more than you consume. Elon Musk isn't where he is today because he consumed more Netflix shows than the rest of us. He creates, he solves problems, he builds. Now not everyone is launching rockets or building electric cars, but everyone can create more than they consume. Instead of binging 3 hours of TV, spend 20 minutes writing, sketching ideas, learning a skill, or building a side hustle. Those small acts of creation compound into income streams, knowledge and opportunities. The wealthy use their time as producers. The average person uses it as consumers. Which one do you want to be? Habit number 4, audit your spending. Oprah didn't just stumble into wealth. It wasn't luck. It wasn't a random break. She made very intentional financial decisions. She tracked where her money went. She invested in her own growth. And she doubled down on choices that built her future instead of draining it. And here's one of the simplest but most powerful wealth habits you can practice too. Learning to categorize your spending. Break every dollar you spend into 3 simple buckets: needs, wants, and growth. Needs are the essentials: rent, groceries, utilities, the things you need to keep life running. Wants are the extras, the entertainment, the new clothes, the gadgets that are nice to have, but not critical. And then there's growth. This is where the magic happens. Growth is money you put toward investments, skills, or ventures that have the potential to give back more than you spent. Here's why this habit works. When you actually see where your money is going, the mystery disappears. No more asking, "Where did all my money go this month?" You'll know. And once you know, you can make better choices. Now here's the kicker. The more you prioritize growth spending, the faster you accelerate your wealth. That's the category that multiplies. It's not about cutting out every want. It's about making sure growth always has a seat at the table. Think about Oprah again. She applied this exact principle at scale. Instead of just spending on luxuries, she reinvested heavily into her media empire. That's why it grew so massive. And the truth is, you can do this too. You don't need millions to start. You can begin with whatever you have, even if it's just a $200 budget. Because at the end of the day, wealth doesn't come from the size of your income. It comes from the discipline of your choices. If Oprah could build an empire using these principles, imagine what you could build if you practiced them consistently at your level. Habit 5. Weekly financial learning. Ray Dalio, the founder of Bridgewater Associates, didn't just become a billionaire by chance. He became one through relentless learning, constantly studying markets, money, and human behavior. He treated learning like an investment, and over time that investment paid off in billions. But here's the good news. You don't need to read like a billionaire to benefit. You don't need to spend hours every day buried in economic reports. All it really takes to shift your financial future is 1 hour per week, just 60 minutes. Think about it. Read a single chapter of a finance book. Watch a documentary that explains how money flows through the world. Listen to a podcast about investing while you're driving or working out. Do that once a week, and in a year you'll have stacked up 52 hours of financial education. That's more than most people will get in their entire adult life after school. And here's where it gets powerful. Knowledge compounds even faster than money, because one idea, one strategy, one mindset shift can change the way you handle money forever. It could stop you from making a $10,000 mistake. It could spark an idea that helps you earn an extra $50,000 down the road. That's the real leverage of continuous learning. The wealthy understand this. They never stop learning. They treat every book, every conversation, every piece of knowledge as a tool that can multiply their wealth. Meanwhile, the average person stops learning the moment school ends and wonders why nothing changes. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. Which category will you choose? Will you be the person who lets learning stop, or the one who treats it as the most valuable asset of all? Habit number 6. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Bill Gates didn't build Microsoft alone. He surrounded himself with people who pushed him higher. Visionaries like Paul Allen, Steve Ballmer, and even lifelong friends like Warren Buffett. Each one brought a different perspective, a different strength, and together they created something far bigger than any of them could have done on their own. And that's the truth about wealth. It's almost never built in isolation. There's a reason people say you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. The people closest to you shape your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your future. Now, this doesn't mean you need billionaires in your circle. You don't need Warren Buffett as a lunch buddy or Bill Gates on speed dial, but you do need people who think bigger, people who are growth-minded, people who are building, not just talking. If you don't have that in your real-life circle yet, start online. Join communities where people are discussing business, investing, personal growth and wealth building. Surround yourself with conversations that inspire action, not excuses, and just as important, pay attention to who you're not spending time with. If your days are filled with complainers, doubters, and people who only talk about what's wrong with the world, it will drag you down. Negativity is contagious, so is small thinking. Your circle is either a weight or a ladder. It's either pulling you down or lifting you up, and you get to choose. The question is, are the people around you helping you climb or holding you back? Habit number 7, set specific financial goals. Jeff Bezos didn't just say, "I want to be successful." He set specific targets: first, to make Amazon the world's biggest bookstore, then the world's biggest retailer. That's the difference between vague goals and specific ones. Don't just say, "I want to save money." Say, "I will save $5,000 by next June." Break it down. That's about $417 a month. Now you have a roadmap. Specific goals give direction. Vague goals fade away. Habit number 8, rehearse your tiny habits. Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter in NBA history because of one thing: rehearsal. He practices the same shot thousands of times until it becomes automatic. Your wealth habits should work the same way. Link them to daily triggers. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I check my budget app. Or after I get paid, I transfer 10% into savings. Rehearse it, visualize it, celebrate it when you do it. Over time it becomes automatic, just like Curry hitting threes. Habits you rehearse become habits you don't have to think about. And that brings us to the last habit, the one most people overlook. After all the discipline, the learning, the sacrifices, you have to celebrate the small wins, because wealth isn't just about the destination, it's about staying motivated along the journey. Habit number 9, celebrate small wins. Richard Branson celebrates everything: new ventures, milestones, even failures. That celebration keeps him motivated and creative. You don't need a private island or a yacht. You just need to acknowledge progress. Saved your first $500, celebrate. Paid off a credit card, celebrate. Finished a finance book, celebrate. Small wins celebrated build momentum, and momentum builds wealth. So there you have it, 9 tiny habits that quietly build wealth. None of them are flashy, none of them require luck, but each of them stacked together compounds into freedom, opportunity and security. Now here's your final charge. Drop a comment below and tell me the 2 habits you're committing to start today. Don't just listen, commit. The Wealthy Edge community is here to cheer you on, because wealth isn't about big one-time moves. It's about the small daily choices you repeat, and when you repeat the right ones, wealth becomes inevitable.